Alright guys, welcome back to another tier list. Today I'm doing comedies. Since this whole situation with my mother's happened, I've been watching a lot more comedy movies. And I got to thinking I could probably suggest you guys some comedy movies if you guys are down in the dumps like I am. So we got the tiers here. Tier AS is fucking funny. That's like super funny. Like to me, non-stop laughter from beginning to end. Just funny. It's a really good comedy movie. Few misses here and there, but definitely a good comedy movie. Sort of funny is half and half. You know, half the movie's good, half the movie's bad. No, half funny, and then not funny at all is just boring movies. And I won't be using D tier at all. So coming up first is Jumanji. I want to say this is Next Level. Yeah, Jumanji Next Level. Um, I thought it was sort of funny. I like Jumanji Next Level. Well, no, that's what Welcome to the Jungle. Fucking fucked up there. Jumanji the Next Level is just sort of funny. I feel like they try to copy and paste too much from the first movie to me, in my opinion. I do like Welcome to the Jungle. I thought that movie was funny, but Next Level is still sort of funny. It's just isn't my favorite. It was just kind of an underwhelming sequel. Coming up next is the movie Superbad. Yeah, that's going in fucking funny, man. I absolutely love Superbad. I'm gonna go through these kind of quick because there are 41 movies. But Superbad is very fucking funny. I watched this movie when I wasn't supposed to at a very young age, and I actually went out and got the unrated cut of the Blu-ray in my room not too long ago. I love this movie to death. To me, it is Jonah Hill's best movie and Michael Cera's best movie. And of course, Seth Rogen and Bill Hader are just fucking awesome in this movie. Coming up next is the movie The World's End. I'm putting that just funny. It is a great comedy. It is the third movie in the Cornetto trilogy. But I do think it has some messed ups in this movie. It's definitely not as good as the first two. While it's still a very good movie. It's just to me not as good as the first two. But I would still highly recommend it. It's still like a 9 or 8 out of 10 for me. It's still a funny movie. It's just not on the level of the first two movies. Coming up next is Ted. I love Ted. I like Ted. Um, I do think Ted was a very good concept, and I think Seth MacFarlane did pull it off since he directed this movie and wrote it, and he basically stars in it. He does everything in this movie. He's a producer, he's a writer, he's a director. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the fucking editor of this movie. But this movie was funny. I do love Mark Wahlberg, and I do love the fact that Seth MacFarlane plays a stoner teddy bear. It is a very funny movie. But I do laugh a little bit less and less every time I watch it. That's why it's in just funny, or otherwise it would be in fucking funny. Coming up next is Holmes and Watson. Yeah, no, fucking hate this movie. Holmes and Watson to me is just not funny. It bored me. It had no good jokes. It had nothing going for it, in my opinion. It was just a boring movie. Step Brothers. I'm sorry, Alex. That's going in just funny. I wouldn't put this in fucking hilarious because no, and for a movie to be in fucking hilarious, it has to be like as enjoyable as it was during the first watch. It has to be fucking great every watch. While this movie is still funny, I still do love Step Brothers. It's not as funny as I like every time I rewatch it. I still do love the movie. I wouldn't own the Blu-ray if I didn't love it. It's just not as funny with every rewatch. So sorry, Alex. Coming up next is Daddy's Home. I thought it was sort of funny. It's definitely not the best comedy out there. Wouldn't put this above like any other movie. Like this movie is just meh. Uh, it has some really good jokes in it. Then it just stumbles a lot with the other jokes. So it's like kind of like a half and half movie. I find it sort of funny. It's just not one I would rewatch. Coming up next is Tropic Thunder. Yeah, this is going in fucking like funny, dude. This movie is hilarious. I own the director's cut, and if you didn't know, Ben Stiller wrote and directed this movie. This movie is funny. Like it just to me it gets better with every fucking rewatch. It's just great. Robert Downey Jr. playing a like basically he's doing blackface, and I know that's racist, but I don't know why. Like everything in this movie just works. You got Jack Black being a cool kid, Robert Downey Jr. being in blackface. You know, Ben Stiller trying to be a serious actor when he's known for being like this cheesy no action hero. Then you got no the other actor, Al Pacino, as he calls himself, who like makes a drink called Booty Sweat and tries to promote it in a Vietnam movie. It's just fucking funny. And of course, you got Tom Cruise in one of the most underappreciated roles because you do not know it's him until the credits. Like it's that good. He's fucking great. Coming up next is Deadpool, the first one, and I'm putting that in fucking funny because I do still laugh every time I watch this movie. It's still funny. It's still hilarious. I still love Deadpool. I went out and bought the Blu-ray day one when it came out because it came out near my birthday, and I absolutely loved this movie, dude. I took my little brother to see it in theaters, and me and him had a blast. It's such a great comic book movie. It's such a such a great adaptation of Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds nails the role, and I think this movie is just absolutely hilarious from beginning to end. Coming up next is American Pie 2. That's going in fucking hilarious because I rewatched these movies not too long ago actually. I rewatched them 2 nights ago, and one thing I noticed about American Pie 2 is that it's still fucking funny. Like I now have some differences of opinions on all the American Pie movies now that I rewatched them, but American Pie 2 still remains one of my favorites out the theater releases. It's my second favorite out the four movies, and it's a funny movie. It still does make me laugh to this day, even though I watched it when I was very young, and it's still a really fucking funny movie. The coming next is the first American Pie, and I'm putting that in just funny. I wouldn't put it in fucking hilarious, but to me, the movie just doesn't hold up as well as I remember it holding up. Um, and I don't know what it is, but rewatching it again, I didn't laugh as much as I did the first time viewing it. I mean, it's still a good movie. It's still a great comedy. It's still a funny movie. To me, it's starting to become less funny the more I rewatch it. But American Pie is still in the this would be the A tier for each tier list, but it's in just funny. Coming next, I believe, because there's going to be three Anchorman 2s, and I believe this is Anchorman 2 Unrated. That's going in just funny. And there's a reason why I put three Anchormans in here. Anchorman Unrated added some more jokes that were deleted, and if the theatrical release, I will not say how I feel about it until when I get to it. But Anchorman's 2 Unrated cut made the movie a little bit funnier. I think this is one of the ways to watch it. If you want to watch Anchorman 2 again, watch the unrated cut. It is absolutely funny. But this is my first time viewing the unrated cut. I viewed it last week, and I wanted to rewatch it more to see if it belongs in fucking hilarious. But for right now, it's in just funny. It's still a funny movie, so I definitely would recommend Anchorman 2 Unrated. Coming up next is Deadpool 2. Ooh. Honestly, and this is my opinion, I believe Deadpool 2 is on the same level as Deadpool 1. They're just as funny. To me, they're on the same level of funniness. I think this one has a better story than the first movie, though. So I think this one may slightly edge out Deadpool 1 because of the better story. But I would recommend both these movies if you're looking for a good comedy. We're the Millers, a movie that got bombed when it came out. I believe, what does this movie have on on Rotten Tomatoes now? It has a 47. About to blow your minds. We're the Millers is fucking funny to me. Like, I am like desperately trying to find the unrated cut for the extended cut of this movie because both, even still, the theatrical release is still funny. I remember going to theaters to see it like 3 times. It is hilarious. Like this movie is just amazing, dude. Like it's so funny, and I don't get why people hated it because to me it's a very funny movie with Jason Sudeikis, Ed Helms playing the villain, which was great, and Jennifer Aniston playing a stripper. You got Jason Sudeikis playing like this 2-bit drug dealer. It's just a funny movie. Seeing them try to pretend to be this like family to like smuggle drugs. It's a funny movie. I actually did really love it. Coming next is A Million Ways to Die in the West. And this is also going to shock more people. I thought A Million Ways to Die in the West is Seth MacFarlane's best fucking movie. I honestly do. I know a lot of people thought this movie sucked, and I can see why. I can see why people hated this movie, but to me, it's a great spoof while also being an homage to Western films. And I think Seth MacFarlane did a good job writing the script. Actually, on the book too is really good. But the movie is really funny to me. It has a lot of good references, including a great Back to the Future reference, which fucking trailers no ruin. But thank God I didn't watch the trailers when I went to go see it. But A Million Ways Down the West is a funny movie. I do enjoy it. It's a movie. It's one of Seth MacFarlane's movies that I always go back to rewatch. Coming up next is American Reunion. This is going in just funny. I used to really love this movie, but the more I rewatch it now, the more it's just like, it's still great. It's still a great conclusion to the theater release movies, but to me, it's not as good as the other one I'm about to talk about, and it's not as good as American Pie 2. To me, it's definitely better than American Pie 1. It's my third favorite out the theater release movies, but it's just it only slightly edges out the first American Pie movie for me. Coming up next is the first Anchorman. This is the reason why I was so excited to see the sequel. I love the first Anchorman. I love Will Ferrell, and this is easily like to me his best role. I absolutely love him in this movie. He's just so fucking funny in this movie, and it's such a great parody of how they were like how news anchors were like back in the day, like how people would see him, and it's fucking funny. It's really funny. If you've never seen Anchorman, so I suggest you watch it. Coming up next is Anchorman 2. I'm trying to remember the title of this one. I'm going on my Hulu, my Vudu. Ooh. This is the Anchorman 2 supersized version, the rated R cut. This is the version you need to watch. It is over 2 hours long. It's 144 minutes, but it packs 763 new jokes in it. And it's so fucking funny. Like, to me, this is how the movie should have been released in theaters. I get they were trying to go for that PG-13 rating, but to me, this is the edition that should have came out in theaters, not the one that we got, because as you will see here in a second, you will see. But Anchorman 2 Supersized Edition is my favorite cut of the movie, while the unrated cut is my third. And while this is the theatrical release of the movie, it's in sort of funny. It's not as good as I would have liked it would be. I remember going to theaters and seeing this and being heavily disappointed, and I never rewatched it again until recently when I got the unrated cut of the movie that came with the supersized edition and the unrated cut of it. And it just wasn't as funny. It's still sort of funny. It has sort of good jokes, but it's like they removed all the good jokes out of the movie, like most of them, and they're the ones that are in the supersized cut. So if you ever want to watch this movie, watch the supersized cut. Do not watch the theatrical cut. Ooh, Central Intelligence. I'm not a big fan of Kevin Hart, but this movie still makes you laugh a lot. This movie is still fucking hilarious. Like, it's so funny. Like, no matter how many times we rewatch it, which I'm probably about to rewatch it after I do this tier list, I watched it like a month ago. It's just so funny. Like, it has a lot of heart to it. It has a lot of good emotions in it, and it really makes you feel while also being extremely hilarious. I'm not even a big fan of Kevin Hart, but to me, he does a pretty good job in this movie. So, Central Intelligence is fucking funny. Due Dates, a movie that most people probably don't know. It's also there's a lot of movies that are fucking funny. I watch a lot of good comedies. Um, Due Date was a movie done by Todd Phillips, who did the Hangover movies and recently did the Joker movies, and it stars Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr. To me, this when it comes to comedies, like this would be, I want Robert Downey Jr. to do more comedies like this. He was funny in this, like he was laugh out loud funny, and so was Zach Galifianakis. And seeing him in his like road trip movie, kind of like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. If you've never seen that, it's just a more dirtier version. So if you love Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, you'll love Due Date. American Wedding. I will say it before and I'll say it again. This is my favorite American Pie movie. To me, this is the sweetest American Pie movie. This is the most heartfelt American Pie movie. This is just the most romantic one. And if you've never seen it and you love the American Pie movies, what are you doing? You need to watch American Wedding. The wedding scene in this movie is so beautiful and it's so sweet. And, I always loved the couple of Jim and Michelle. I thought they were such a great couple together. And seeing their wedding just brought a tear to my eye. And of course, it has his raunch in it. And I don't think the raunch overpowers the emotional side to it because it does have some pretty good touchy feely scenes in it. Coming up next is The Hangover Part 2. This is going in just funny. Um, I actually like this more than the original because I rewatched the original like a month ago, and I'll rank it as soon as I get there. But The Hangover Part 2 was definitely a big step up in my opinion. Because while I rewatch it, I honestly think it's better than the first one. Like a lot better than the first one. Um, to me, I love the setting more. I think it was a more. I think this one had a more dangerous situation to it, which added to the humor. They were in this really dangerous situation, and of course, he had Crystal the monkey in it, which was awesome. And it did copy and paste a lot from the first movie, but I do think this movie did it a lot better. I'm trying to find another because a lot of these are just okay. Here we go, Daddy's Home 2, because I want to put something in like a different thing. I didn't like Daddy's Home 2. I thought it was not as funny as the first one. While the first one wasn't even like it's sort of funny, but not really. Daddy's Home 2 just was not funny at all. Like it just was not funny. Like I did not care for it. I would never go back to rewatch this movie ever, or unless my girlfriend wants to watch it, and then I'll put up with it and watch it with her because I love her. But yeah, Daddy's Home 2 was not that funny. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. That will go in funny. Well, just funny. Should just call it funny. I like it a lot more than the sequel. But I'm starting to see how it like the more you rewatch it, it doesn't have that good effect where it gets funnier and funnier the more you watch it. This it's I've watched this movie 4 times now, and each time I watch it, like I will find a joke not as funny with each viewing. So who knows? Maybe if I do a redo of this list, maybe it'll move down, it'll move up. Who never knows? But right now, it's just funny. Knocked Up. Ooh, like this is a good Seth Rogen movie. This is a really good Seth Rogen movie. If you've never seen Knocked Up, it's a very funny romantic comedy about pregnancy. And while I think her name is Christian. I can't remember her name. Kathleen Hagen, I think her name is. She's like really. Hold on, let me look her name up because I do not want to get her name wrong. I don't seem to have this. Oh, there it is. Her name is Katherine Heigl. I did not like her as a person, but she was alright in this movie. The main reason to watch this movie is Paul Rudd, Leslie Mann, Jason Segel, Jonah Hill, Jay Birchall, Seth Rogen, all those people. It's definitely one of Judd Apatow's best movies. It's just so funny, and it has a lot of rewatch value to it because because I watched it when I was a teenager and I didn't get the humor of it, but I was like, I think it was like when it first came out, I watched it when I wasn't supposed to. But now that I'm an adult and I rewatch it, it's a lot more funny than what I remember it being because I get more and more of the jokes now. So next up is Sausage Party. A lot of these movies are going and fucking funny. Sausage Party is so great. Like, it's such a funny animated movie that's clearly not meant for kids. And I remember going to see it in the theaters and there were kids in there. I was like, did their parents not watch the trailer? Because clearly in the trailer it said not meant for kids, rated R. But the animation is actually really gorgeous in this movie, and the voice acting done by everyone in this movie is so great, so funny. Um, if you've never seen Sausage Party and you love animated movies, definitely, definitely watch Sausage Party. Up next is Good Boys. That was pretty good. Rewatches ain't so good, but Good Boys is a funny movie. It's funny. It's produced by Seth Rogen, and it has a style of humor in it, but I don't know. To me, it just felt kind of like Superbad in a way, just not as funny as Superbad. While I still do enjoy it, I actually do own the movie. It's just I probably spaced out my rewatches on this movie. I'll probably rewatch it like several months down the line, but it's still a funny movie. But I've watched it 3 times, and some of the jokes are losing their touch in the movie, so I'm like stopping the rewatches. Coming up next is 22. You know what? I want to do Ride Along next because I'm tired of putting movies in A and S. Ride Along is not funny. Like I hate this movie. I don't care for Kevin Hart. The only movie I ever liked him in is I sort of stand him in the Jumanji movies, and I love intelligence. But other than that, I hate any other movies he's in. He always does the same shtick. Really loud equals really funny. And while Ice Cube is good in this movie, I just didn't find Ride Along funny, and I just didn't bother with the sequel. Coming next is 22 Jump Street. No, I didn't want to put that there. Actually, shut up. No, stop. Stop it. Stop phone. I actually want to put 22 Jump Street in fucking funny. I know a lot of people. I know some people who aren't fans of the 22 movies, 21, 22 movies, but I actually love both of them. I think they're both funny. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put 21 Jump Street in fucking funny as well. They're movies I can rewatch over and over again and still get the same effect. Like at the same time, like first time I watched them. They're just so funny. They're so well, like cleverly written, and I love the chemistry between Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum within both these movies. To me, they're both equal. Coming next is Shaun of the Dead. Fuck's sake. Another fucking funny movie. If you didn't know this one was coming, I don't know what you expect. And I'm missing Hot Fuzz, but okay. Pretend Hot Fuzz is here. That also goes in fucking funny. Don't know why the picture didn't come up because I downloaded a picture of Hot Fuzz. But anyway, Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz are two of the most funniest British comedies I've ever seen in my life. They are great. Shaun of the Dead being about zombies, Hot Fuzz being about the police force. They have so much rewatchability to them. And, well, yes, The World's End does have rewatchability to it. To me, the jokes didn't hit as hard as like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. So, those two movies, definitely in that tier. Up next is Baywatch, and honestly, I love this movie more than most people do. I love Zac Efron. I love Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I think their chemistry in this movie is fucking great. I do. This was back when they were like trying to take old TV shows and make them into raunchy comedies because 21 and 22 Jump Street did so well. But I think Baywatch did it pretty well. Now I'm not saying it's perfect. That's why it's not in the top tier, but it's still funny. It still has its really good moments, and I still absolutely enjoy it every rewatch. It's just sometimes the raunchiness can get a little too much, and of course, since I own unrated cut, I have to look at Logan Paul's face, and it's just not good. Up next is Guns Akimbo. It's going in S tier. Now, I watched this movie twice, and so far, it stayed the same amount of funniness. So it's in S tier because so far it hasn't gone downward when it comes to rewatchability. It's still a really funny movie starring Daniel Radcliffe in a really fucked up situation, and I absolutely love the humor in this movie. It's so intense and so brilliant. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about Guns and Kimber that makes me love it so much, but I do love it. I watched it both sober and drunk, and it remains the same amount of funniness. So, coming up next is Hangover Part 3. Yeah, no. Fucking hate that movie. I'm trying to divide it out so I don't keep going to the first top tiers. Yeah, The Hangover Part 3 sucked. It was not a good conclusion to the trilogy. It just wasn't funny. They did so much in such a small amount of time, and it just didn't work out. These movies really needed like another movie, but Hangover Part 3 was not funny. Ted 2. It was sort of funny. It felt like it was a straight to DVD movie. I don't know why, but the quality just felt like it was a straight to DVD movie. It didn't feel like, the grand movie that was Ted, but it still has its moments of being really funny, but to me the jokes just do not work as much as like the first movie did. So sorry, Ted, you're in that category. Coming up next is The Hangover. Recently did a rewatch of this movie, and I'm starting to like it less and less. It's moved a lot since it would be an S tier if it was my first viewing, but The Hangover Part 1, not as good as I remember it being. It's still funny, it has its moments, but it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just, the more I rewatch it, the less funny it gets. So, coming up next is Pineapple Express. Oh, fuck, not where I wanted to put you. Oh, I hate this thing sometimes. I'm a stoner. I love smoking weed, so of course I love Pineapple Express. It is a funny stoner movie, and it's fun to watch sober, it's fun to watch drunk, and it's fun to watch high. And it never gets old in either of those. I've recently rewatched it with a friend of mine. It was like a month ago. We got high and watched it, and it was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I remember rewatching it, and it's still the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's funny. It has great humor. It, of course, has James Franco and Seth Rogen doing their best together. So, Pineapple Express definitely S tier. Coming next is Paul. It's also going in S tier. A Seth Rogen, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost comedy. Something I've always wanted since back then when I watched The World's End. I'm like, it would be cool to see like Seth Rogen and was it Simon Pegg and Nick Frost do a movie together, and I got that with Paul, and it was so worth the wait. The movie is like so funny. Actually, the CGI for Paul himself is really good, and Seth Rogen as the voice of him was a perfect choice when it comes to casting him. I owned the unrated cut on Blu-ray, and that's definitely the cut to watch because they don't cut any of the jokes out. So it's definitely a funny comedy. And last but not least, we got The World's End, and this one holds up too. Um, I own the 4K now, and it's so cool seeing celebrities play themselves in a like basically the war between heaven and hell, the apocalypse, and it's so funny to watch them react in a way that they would. It's funny, it has great humor, and all the actors do a great job portraying over exaggerated versions of themselves. So, The World's End definitely gets S tier. So this is my comedies. As you can see here, there's a lot in fucking funny. There's some of them and just funny, some of them sort of funny, and then four not funny at all. So that's my tier list, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.